ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is January 26, 2019. This is FAWMtalk. I'm your host, Juha. And with me, as always, very trustworthy, very reliable, Mr. Punctual, Mr. Excellent, my wonderful co-host, who never leaves my side, Mr. T.C. Elliott. How are you doing, good sir?
I am rocking it. Things are awesome.
Very rocking. All right. So additionally, with us, we have wonderful, beautiful, very prolific singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, auto harp enthusiast, Ms. Pearl Manhattan. How are you doing?
I'm quite well, thank you very much, and happy to be here.
Excellent, excellent. So, I thought since it's the FAWM, we might start with some music, and let's see how the music player works. I have no idea how any of this is gonna go. Does everything sound okay? Is there a chat that can maybe tell us if everything is going horribly, horribly wrong? Yeah, we got some chat interaction, cool intro. Thank you, thank you. It is very proud of it. But so we got some music going on here. So let me see. Now this one is a song called "I Must Be a Ghost," and it is actually by. Holy smokes! Yeah, things are already going well, like super good. I Must Be a Ghost by Kevin Emmrich, and here it is.
Can anybody see me? No, no, no. I must be a ghost. Even at home, I always am lost. Guess it's just a matter of degree. Which you just noticed me. So I could move on my life. And I have a lot of time on my hands. When you're in between worlds, the hourglass just runs out of sand. But you're more worried about finding a girl. Can anybody see me? No, no, no. I must be a ghost. Even at home, I always am lost.
I Must Be a Ghost by Kevin Emmrich. Wonderful, wonderful track. How'd you like that, Tosser?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Kevin and I actually knew each other on a Fender forum, I believe, before he came to FAWM, so old friend. Yeah, good guy. Good track.
And what do you think, Pearl? Am I coming through?
I think so.
Maybe a little bit.
Hey, Pearl, what'd you think of that track?
I love Kevin's stuff. I could listen to him for hours. Very talented musician, and love the folksy, laid back. Every track he does is like that, though. Very enjoyable.
And these tracks, of course, we were requesting on the forum that people send some of their previous work, like from maybe past year or so, and there were a lot of tracks there. People were sending us, and it was a fun little process going through them, trying to find something, some sort of balanced. I would like to go with the word balanced collection of tracks. So you don't want everything to be like folk guitar, but I think we found some exciting tracks there.
Awesome. Yeah, the response very good. Yeah, I appreciate everybody on the forum being so supportive, and everybody in the chat room, Slack chat. So
I was thinking, since FAWM hasn't started yet, maybe for all the FAWMlings, what are the sort of things that you should look forward to in FAWM? If you want the full FAWM experience, what is like everything you need to do during FAWM?
Crazy.
Is that from...
For everyone,
go ahead, bro.
just go for it.
All right, I'll go ahead since we all got quiet. I'm having some issues with the audio, so I can't always tell if you're talking to me or to Steve. Anyway, for me, the things for FAWM that you need to do is jump in there. Jump in the challenges, jump in the skirmishes, jump in the forums, get to know people, because for me, it's the community. That's the biggest part of FAWM.
What are all the challenges? Because I've done a lot of skirmishes. I think I did one. Was it called a morph, where you do one song and then the next person takes like a half of the song that you made and then tries to make another song based on that. But what other types of challenges are there? What are the classics?
Oh, well, there's the, once a week they do post up a different challenge on the website that's FAWM-wide. There's the, corpses, and, I'm trying to think, I've just drawn a blank. The random collaborations where you sign up and get assigned a partner to do a song together. There's the 4-track challenge. That's one that I take part of on the old 4-track tape recorders. And well, you'll start one track and then you send the tape to someone else and they do a track, and it goes all over the world sometimes. And we've come up with some pretty cool songs with that one.
There's a couple of challenges like common drums. Sometimes you'll get somebody to supply a drum track, and as many people as possible can use it. There's a lot of, actually, I think Pearl sets up where she'll draw a card out of a deck, or there's some dice, tarot. So on the forum, you can go into the headings and go to the songwriting forum, and there'll be a bunch of different demos there. I say challenges. Yeah. One of the things it was mentioned in the chat room, in the Slack chat, the most important thing to do is listen and comment. To really be part of the community, you really need to be able to go ahead and interact with as many people as possible. And the best way to do that is literally to comment on songs you like, let people know that you've listened, and ask to collaborate if that's something you want to do. Ask for input or help. Just be part of the community. It'll make the experience so much better.
Yeah, exactly. I've received so many wonderful comments, and what I try to do is not just comment back to those guys, but try to find other songs, and especially from people who haven't done the challenge before, and comment their songs, find songs that don't have any comments, or what they called zongs on the zero comment songs on the site, and just go comment on those and just pass it along.
Yeah, something I like to do is to actually return a comment. So if somebody's commented on my song, I'll go to their page and comment on one of their songs, and then I try to pick somebody else that's commented on that song. I'll go to their page and comment on a song, and then I'll pick somebody else that already commented on that song, and I just kind of do a chain, and it kind of see where it leads me. And it can be, as commenting can be, it can be time intensive, but it's pretty cool when you get done, when you've listened for an hour and you realize how many comments you've given, but you've been able to go through this winding road through all the songs that have been posted. And sometimes it's circular and you kind of hit similar genres or styles, but a lot of times it's hit and miss on what you're going to hear, and you can discover new people, and it's a pretty cool thing. One of the things FAWM does, I think, is it has a songs tab, so you can just click on that, have all the songs with 0 comments come up, and they also have a FAWMlings tab, if I remember correctly, so that you can, so for instance, if it's me, I can go in and I'm commenting, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do 3 songs with first-year FAWMers, and just see what I can find, and I don't spend all my time doing that, but I make sure to make a point of it. It helps with the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's better. I think it's better if more songs just have like a more balanced distribution of comments, and not like the popular guys getting 200 comments or something like that. So it's, of course, there's a thing that when FAWM starts, it's everybody's commenting and everybody's going crazy with their songs, and then after like a week, it starts to die down a little bit, and you don't get as many comments as you did before. So typically your first songs are gonna get most comments. So should you make sure that your first songs are the best ones? I think that kind of happens automatically to a degree. Because you're so into like getting to the songwriting thing, and then you have so many ideas that you want to get out, and you get them out, and after the first week you're like, well, now what?
Yeah, I kind of shy away from that a little bit, just because if I put so much pressure on myself to make the first one and the second one as good as possible to get as many comments as possible, then what I end up doing is kind of putting myself in a rut or a hole, trying to make it something, sometimes you start writing a song and the song just doesn't want to be your masterpiece. It just wants to be what it is, and it doesn't make it a bad song. But so what I ended up doing on a couple of years is putting so much production on a song that probably didn't deserve it, to make it sound as good as possible, when the songwriting wasn't above average by any stretch. So for me, I kind of let the song dictate. I do tend to try to hit the first couple of days as many songs as possible, and if it takes a day to do a song, that's great. But if I can hit, a skirmish, or I can hit 2 or 3 songs in the first day or two, that's great too. But I try to make sure I have time to write and do whatever that song or those songs need, so that there is activity and I'm out there, and that does help. But I found myself chasing comments there for a while. For a year or two, it was all about the comments, and I just decided at one point, I was like, okay, I don't care about comments anymore. Of course, I love them, I appreciate them, I'm going to return them, I'm going to be a good community member, but I don't care about the comments. I care more about writing and helping other people, and lo and behold, as soon as I did that, I started getting more comments. So I think it's, I think you have a synergy there where do what the song calls for, do your best, and then on the next song, do your best with that one. And everything else takes care of itself. As long as you're active in the community, you're going to be fine. So
what is your take on that, Pearl? Do you have some sort of strategy for commenting, or some sort of philosophy?
Well, I do a lot of skirmishes, And in the skirmish, it's kind of etiquette that if you participate, you go back and comment on everyone else's song who participated in the skirmish. And, oh, excuse me, my son is joining me here. If I turn my head real quickly, that's why I'm keeping an eye on him. This is my boy. Say hi to everybody, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
All right, go on, go play the week. Anyway, but I do go to the Zongs, and the FAWMlings, the first year FAWMers. I know my first year in FAWM, it meant a lot to me that there were a lot of people who came and commented on my songs because it was my first year, and sharing the love that way. So I try to pay it forward, and I go to the first year students, the first year FAWMers, and I seek those out. First of all, and I try to find things out of my genre to comment on also, and FAWMers I'm not familiar with. Of course, I comment on my friends' stuff, you know, but I try to stretch and grow with my comments and listen to things that I wouldn't normally listen to, and I think it helps me grow as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sometimes kind of difficult, because I've made a lot of metal music during FAWMs and 90s, so it's hard to get people to really listen to well, it's not hard to get them to listen to the metal stuff, but I can sort of, when I post tracks like that, I get the feeling like, well, people don't really want to listen to this. Because I'm thinking like my dad, and he likes a lot of like jazz music, maybe Jethro Tull, and now he's listening a lot of classical music. So when I give some of my metal tracks to him, yeah, he listens to them because he's interested in what I do, but at the same time, if you're not my dad and you're not into that genre, it's gonna be a lot of like noise to you, and I guess it's similar to when I'm listening classical music. It's hard for me to get into that music and then try to give some sort of meaningful comments about that. So when I go about and just say something like, it was a very interesting track, I feel like it's gonna come off like, yeah, thanks for listening, but you try, and that's the important thing. How about we listen to some more music? We got a quick one here. This is a little short. One of my favorites. This is by Metalfoot. We were debating on how to pronounce his actual name, Alex. Not Alex, but the last name. But we settled on just calling him Metalfoot because everyone knows him as Metalfoot. So this one is an excellent little, well, let's call it a disco track. It's just called, it's called Nope. There you go.
Take the bait, 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 take the bait. I won't do it, I can't do it. You can't make me take the bait. I didn't do it, I never did it. You didn't make me take the bait. So there, 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 yeah.
Yeah, New Jax calls it as it is, the king of disco, Metalfoot. We were telling you, I kind of love that track. I want more disco in FAWM. Why is nobody making this?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's the genre that gets ignored the most. It seems. Maybe we should start a challenge.
Yeah, yes. Let's do that. Actually, I was
Disco
thinking
challenge?
about that. We should make, because we are doing a show, so after each show we could devise some sort of challenge for people who are listening to the show to participate in, so they can do some sort of fun challenge, and then we can come up and maybe play those challenge songs in the show.
It's a good idea.
So maybe
Good luck coming up with a good one.
disco challenge could be one of those, but I don't think I had one in mind. Well, let's get into this like right now because we started talking about it. So I had an idea like doing a challenge where you write a song before February. I know, pretty insane.
Never heard of such a thing.
Maybe we could do like a January, a little January song.
That's not a bad idea to actually have that challenge before the pre-FAWM talk show, and then play those tracks.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's awesome.
It's all coming together.
You're a genius.
Yes. Exactly.
I said.
What did you think about the track? Because me and New Jacks, we love that song. What did you guys think?
I definitely think it's catchy as all get out. I love the use of repetition. They say that that's very important in pop music, and I can see he went full force into it. But the music was actually pretty cool. I don't know if I've heard that song before, so that was a good first take. Definitely liked it.
I don't know if he posted it on the FAWM site or the 1590 site, whichever it was, but we definitely we definitely listened to it in the Slack chat. What do you,
Pearl, what did you think about it?
Are you crazy on disco?
I'm crazy about Metalfoot and anything that he does. He throws himself 100% in every song that he posts, every collaboration, and I've never heard a bad song from him. And as for disco, honey, I grew up in the 70s. Disco is one of my favorite genres. And I got a Casio, and I like my Casio chords. So I thought it was a great song.
Yeah, I gotta get myself a Casio. It's definitely. In the YouTube comments, Mike Szymanski was saying that he has found the RSS feed is a great way to keep track of who has commented on your songs. So there are some applications that you can use and just get the RSS feed to your phone or something. That's a little tip you can keep in mind.
Yeah, that's a great idea. The FAWM has really evolved from the first year that I did it till now with kind of the tools you have to keep track of things. But I know the three of us are also in the Slack chat room, the FAWM chat room, and then we're actually using Discord now. There's a FAWM channel room set up there as well. Both of those places are pretty cool. Little corners of FAWM culture. So
yeah, Slack is definitely the place to be. It's so many great people, and you'll find like make friendships that will last the rest of your life. And I can definitely attest to that, even though my life isn't quite over yet. Maybe. Well, we'll see.
Right. I can when I first started, I think it was Charlie Cheney had the first Slack room. I'm sorry, the chat room, and then Mal kind of took it over, and then Errol kind of took it over, and then now we're in mainly Slack with a little bit of community on Discord as well. But the conversations and the friendships that I made that were created in my first 2 years are the strongest ones I have, or some of the strongest ones I have now. And it's amazing how FAWM the FAWM community can develop into these very strong friendships and collaborations and interactions all through the year, not just in FAWM or not just in 5090, but throughout the entire year. And looking in the Slack chat now, it's all everybody in there. It looks like somebody that I've had a meaningful conversation with and interaction with. And when you see how many people are doing FAWM each year, and it's kind of a rolling list of who does it. Not everybody does it every year, and you have new people, and some people fall off, and it's a new challenge every year. So sometimes it is kind of hard to stay connected and have your little corner. So I kind of try to balance that with the chat room and having these connections and friendships, and then going out into the forum and creating these new connections and these new friendships. And I know last year was a big year for me, both in FAWM and 5090, on really doing as much as I could with as many people as possible. And that's not just collaborations. It could also be helping with challenges, or it could be commenting, or it could be helping people that need, if somebody needed backing vocals or a guitar or something like that, trying to be as helpful as possible. And it's not always easy to do, but the more I do that, the more I feel connected with FAWM. But I don't know, my life has definitely changed for the better through FAWM. And there's no doubt about that.
So you mentioned the first year you were doing FAWM. So which year actually was the first that both of you did FAWM? And what was the experience for you back then?
For me, it was 2008. And it seemed to be it seemed to be a lot of people that stayed for a long time started in 08. There were definitely some of the people that took me under their wing, Nancy and Hoopshank and some of Helen. Some of those people seemed to be there from 07 or even before. And those are some of my really...
Getting some sort of glitch here. Did we lose TC? Is this...
I think his batteries ran down.
Oh no. Is he in his bunker? Connected to his aggregate?
We'll just give him a minute.
Yeah, he's going grab some diesel. So how about you, Pearl?
All right. Well, my first year was 2016. And I found it. I actually was taking some music courses online, and in the forums, FAWM was listed. And so I went and signed up, had no idea what to expect, and immediately was welcomed and by everybody, and immediately felt like I was finally home. And in my video, I did a video promo for FAWM this year, and I said, it's the safest place on the internet, and I really felt safe and taken care of. And I think I have grown musically, I've grown personally from the friendships that I have made, and yes, lifelong friendships, heart friends, and I like the contact that we have all through the year, like TC said, and like he said in the Slack chats, and the different forums. Yeah. I think that's all I wanted to say.
But what's the...
TC, poor CC!
Oh, man. Well, we'll get him back, maybe. But it's like one of those casualties of war. Oh, there he is! I wasn't saying anything.
There he is!
Jesus, just when you give up on someone.
You all right? I think my Wi-Fi adapter is trying to sabotage me.
Oh, I thought you were saying wife. Oh, all right, but the Wi-Fi adapter kind of cut you off there. So, what was the first year experience for you?
So in 2008 was my first year, and it was actually very, very awesome. I would say Nancy Rost was the one that really took me under her wing. She was already part of FAWM and so creative and helpful, and I know I wasn't unusual. She was very considerate and helpful to a lot of new farmers that year. There were a lot of us that started in '08. And then actually after FAWM that year in March, I stuck around and commented for 2 or 3 weeks pretty heavily. And Val was another one that we really connected after FAWM. I didn't listen to her a lot during February, but afterwards, she has this blues rock sound and voice that was just killer, and it was great. That first year was really awesome. It was new, and looking back at my songs then, it's embarrassing. I've grown so much, but there was just as much support for me then as there is now. So I really love this community. It was nothing but good things. And right after that, I think '08 was the first year that Eric actually hosted the 50/90 challenge on FAWMers. And before that, it was like a Yahoo list. And that really strengthened up a lot of relationships, and that was a different type of. Now they're kind of similar to me in my own personal experience. It's just one's a little bit longer, and in 50/90 I have a chance. I can take a week vacation, come back and catch up and do whatever, and it gives you a chance to spend more time, and then you can hit it really hard, or it's just a lot more forgiving. Where when you have 4 weeks, it's a sprint, and if you take a week off, that's a quarter of the challenge.
Yeah.
But now, like, they've become a lot closer, and it's nothing that they've changed. Like, the challenges haven't changed. It's just the way that I go about things. I go about them both almost identically now, and you still need those breaks. So for me, that 2008 year of doing those things was really formative, and yeah, I don't know how much it's different. I know each FAWM for me is a little different. And some FAWMs I love, and some, I look back on it and I was like, that was a real struggle. It's not that it was bad, but it was just more of a stress or more of a struggle. But the last couple of years doing it this long, I just let it be what it'll be. And it's every single one of them. It might be a little different. It might be more songs or less songs, but every single one of them is kind of a unique little ball of great community, no matter what happens. And so I'm not too stuck on what I need to get done. In other words, how many songs or what genre or whatever. I don't go in with too much of a plan anymore, because I just realize that kind of, like, it's helpful and it's useful, but for me it kind of limits where I go in the community. So I've got a general idea of what I want to do, and I'll kind of stick to that. But if something else comes along, I'm not going to forego that for the sake of some preconceived idea.
Yeah. I think my favorite year was 2013 in 50/90. This was the only 50/90 when I actually did the whole challenge, the 50 songs. And I didn't have any plans for that one. I devised one like way later in the challenge, but I think the best times I've ever had in both in FAWM and 50/90 is when I don't have any plans. I just do whatever I feel like every day. That's one way to go about it. And there are a lot of
there's.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a lot of value to that. It's not the only way to do it. It's not the right way, but I think there's like a rigid sticking to a preconceived notion can be very, very helpful. It can also be a little bit of a hindrance, especially like for me. I was one year I want to write this style of music. I'm going to do full productions. I'm going to do this. It's going to kind of have an arrangement in my head. And after you do 7 songs and a couple of them are good and a couple of them are okay, and then you have a clunker or two, it's like I needed something else to get me out of that headspace so that I could come back refreshed, even if it's just a week later. So a plan is great, and what you want to do is awesome, but don't be afraid that in that journey to do other things. And like we were talking before, some of the challenges, somebody will come up with a new challenge or say, we need a last person on an exquisite corpse or what have you. And it's like, okay, I'll do it. Just to get in there and do something that's a little,
That's like, fine.
Well, sometimes it's like that, but a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm going to commit because it gets me out of the space I was in and into something. And like with Exquisite Corpse, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. You're following somebody and you have to have 10 seconds that will lead into something else. But it's 45 seconds to a minute and a half. You're not going to, even if you do full production, you're not going to have to do a huge amount of work on it compared to a 3, 4, 5 minute song. So it's a way to really get your head out of one thing and into another, and be, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like, okay, I'm going to be open for whatever it is. And just that idea of just being open, I think helps your creativity and when you go back to doing something else.
Yeah. There are quite a few people in the YouTube chat from 2011. It's Russell Lucas, one who I've collaborated with in 5090 before, and Paul H. saying 2011. My first FAWM was also 2011. If you can, well, I found out about FAWM. It was 21st of February when I read about FAWM on some forum, and then I decided, like, this sounds very interesting. So I just hopped on board, made an album in 7 days. And I didn't get much comments on those songs, but I mean, what do you expect? Nobody knew I was there, and I got comments because even back then, people sees that these songs don't have any comments, and they go in and they comment, which is like excellent. But I think 2012 was my first proper FAWM. That was excellent. All right, let's hop into another track. Got another kind of short one. This one is called what is this called? This one is called Surf Seconds. It's by Airbagtester. Very short one, that one. Surf Seconds, the great surf sound by Airbagtester. How'd you like that one?
Yeah, that's a good sound to that song. I like a lot of his stuff. He's one of those. That's one of those nicknames on FAWM that's catchy, so you can remember it just because Airbagtester. I mean, where'd that come from, right? So that's pretty catchy. But then you can also remember him because of his creativity. He always has good sounding songs. So I've been a fan for quite a while, actually.
We got sent some 2 hours of music for the pre-show. I was thinking we would do like 60 minutes. I believe last time we did these things they were a little bit over, but we have quite a bit of tracks loaded in. And since that was so short, why don't we see if we can find another one here. Let's see. This one is called, well, it's very fitting. It's called It Starts Here. And this one is by Dragondreams. It Starts Here. It Starts Here by Dragondreams. That was a very progressive sound. I've listened to a lot of that type of music, but it always surprises me when people... There's so many creative people in FAWM. Just, I don't know, you expect to hear a lot of, like, ukulele music and a lot of folk music, that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of that in FAWM too, but then somebody comes up with some weird electronic track or, like, super progressive, excellent, like, metal track or something along those lines, and it's just, like... It's expanding so fast. It's not your typical singer-songwriters or just those people anymore. We're getting more electronic musicians. We're just talking with New Jax in the Slack chat. He was telling about his friends who are electronic musicians, and they're just like coming to, I think, bring more diversity to FAWM.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that the challenge is to write songs. It's not necessarily to produce. However, that being said, the awesome part about it is that iPhone recordings of songs that will move me and just be awesome, but there's also this... like a song like Paul did, the Dragondreams did there, where you've got a pretty full production, all the way, you know, from some metal songs, like some of the stuff you have done in the past, actually, are some of my, I remember rocking out and going, I love this is awesome, and then in the very next song that you're commenting on, it's a ukulele, and it's somebody pouring their heart out, and it's, you know, the production doesn't mean as much as the songwriting does. And it's great to have that full production and see what people are amazingly able to do in the 28 days. But on the same part, you know, that guitar and voice or that piano song can be just as amazing without the production, with the stripped down part. And, you know, there's a lot of people who do both. You know, they'll have a simple arrangement or an idea that they record, they post to YouTube, and then you go and watch that, and then on their next song, they'll have something that they spent more time on the production because that's what the song called for, and you get that wide range in there. So I noticed in the YouTube chat room, actually a friend of mine, hi Terry Marie, this will be her first year, and she was like, "Oh, I think it might be over my head," but she'll fit in great. She's going to be right in there. She's a great songwriter. You know, it's one of those things where you can't be afraid to jump in because you have somebody like Paul that can do this amazing full-fledged song in 2 hours, and you feel like you're going to be struggling in 3 hours to get a clean recording on guitar and voice. And I've tried to do both of those, and I've had that struggle, and I know where a lot of people can be kind of tied up with that. But it simply is amazing. The more you do it, the easier it gets to.
Yeah. So Pearl, I know you have like strong views on this subject. Like, what is a song? What counts as a song? As you count towards the 14 songs on FAWM site. So, like, what are your views on this subject?
For me, what is a song? A song is whatever you think it is, to me. There are some people who just post lyrics, and by lyrics, I don't necessarily mean nice rhyme scheme things. I mean, there are people who post freeform poetry. Those are their lyrics. There are people, like we just heard with Dragondreams, that these full-scale productions, and he's not the only one. I think whatever the writer thinks is a song for FAWM is a song. And it's not mine to decide what someone else calls a song. And I know that for some of the skirmishes, I do lyrics only. I don't even post a demo. And then I might do a demo with my auto harp, record it on my cell phone with the voice recorder, and upload it, you know, to SoundCloud. And then other songs, I'll break out my band in a box or my other, you know, my DAW, and get the VSTs and make my full productions. It depends on the song itself and what the song requires. I like being able to go from hearing a simple ukulele, 3 chords, and maybe a rough voice on a cell phone, and then the next one have something really elaborate and everything else. But I think there's a place for anybody in FAWM. If you are creative, if you are a writer, you need to be there, because not only is it a place to post your songs, but you listen to other people, you learn from other people, and you grow. You grow as an artist. So
yeah, just going to the
that answer your question?
Absolutely. But it's just I was thinking about, like, oftentimes I go to the jukebox and just start listening to stuff, and just listening through a lot of tracks from different people, it is a experience in itself. It's like a roller coaster ride or something, some sort of like experience. I don't know what is to call it really. There was so much stuff. But of course, then you have to remember that not everything is in the jukebox, because there are a lot of songs that are just lyrics. And when you go in and you start reading those, you find some really incredible stuff there. Some amazingly well written pieces that just blow you away. You're just reading them through. It's like, wow, somebody took the time to put this together. And it's... I always, every year, I find many pieces where just the lyrics, where I think to myself, God damn, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, actually. And I've made it a point, most years I make it a point to hit some of my favorite lyricists and try to do a collaboration with a lyric post. And something that kind of put it in perspective for me, there was a long time ago, years ago, there was an argument about, is a lyric post a song? And it was shot down pretty quick that, of course, you know, if you are a lyricist and you post, of course, that counts. It absolutely should. And I agree with that 100%. And what I decided, what I thought a kind of a mental exercise was, I took my 14 or 15 songs that I had that year, and I just mentally did this. But I was like, okay, if I put these down as lyric posts, and I put them down there, how would they rank in my mind? Not, I don't want other people's opinions necessarily, but in my own mind, how would they rank or rate or compare to some of the lyricists that are on FAWM that do lyric posts, almost either completely just lyrics, and I say just lyrics, but completely lyric posts or mostly lyric posts. And I said, where would mine fit? And almost without even thinking about it, I know, I read mine and I'm like, yeah, comparatively, my lyric does not stand up. It's not terrible necessarily, but when you see the craft that was put into some of the lyric posts in there, that's more effort than some of the songs that I have with a guitar and voice, and I've got a handheld recording and I put in there. It's like, no, I would much rather read that and maybe see what somebody else can do with that music or put music to it than my own songs in some cases. So to me, the going down that lyric path like you were talking about, where you go through and you kind of see, I mean, that can be inspiring. And there's times when I've seen a lyric, this just happened in 5090, and I'm like, yeah, I want to put music to that, and somebody already claimed it. And I'm like, oh, so I'll take one line from that lyric, and I'll tell them, I'm like, look, I'm stealing this line, and it might not be the title, it might not be the biggest line, and then I try to do something that evokes a similar emotion, and it gets me a song that there's one line in common between two songs. It's a whole new song, but if it wasn't for that lyric, I wouldn't have gone there. So, yeah, I just, the value that I have, it's literally grown from my first year to saying, no, I'd like to be supportive, I just don't have the time, to now going, that's part of what makes FAWM great for me.
Absolutely.
And there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I've definitely grown into much more of appreciation and value of it. It makes my FAWM experience much better. So
I remember seeing this post that conversely was talking about how instrumentals aren't really songs because they don't have any lyrics. So it's like, well, there are so many sides to this argument. Like, some people just consider the lyrics being the song, and I can sort of understand it, but at the same time, I make a lot of music that don't have any lyrics, and that's I guess that's one way to go about it. Well, let's see here. We have so much music, and it's already like we're running out of time fast. So let's go to our next track. This one is called "Wicked River." So I already like the name, and it is by J.W. Hanberry. "Wicked River."
Storm clouds broke, the rain came down. The folks were trapped by the water in the streets of the town. Get in your boats, load up your pack. Don't care if the goddamn rain lets up, we ain't never coming back. Wicked river, you're the devil in disguise. A raging hellfire, demon water from the skies. Oh, wicked river. We built the levee before the winter came. Then watched the wicked river rise, swollen up with rain. A total devastation is spreading across the land. I ain't looking for salvation, we could sure use a helping hand. A wicked river, you're the devil in disguise. A raging hellfire demon, water from the skies. Busted up and bruised. This is 10 times worse than the picture you saw on the news. Imagine watching your whole life drift away. Swept clean, a bitter scene, a revelation, judgment day. Wicked river, you're the devil in disguise. A raging hellfire demon, water from the skies. A wicked river, the devil in disguise. A raging hellfire demon, water from the skies. Oh, wicked river, I hope you run dry. Get out of my town.
So good. Wicked River by J.W. Hanberry. I just love that organ. And if
Definitely,
anything,
that's an awesome sound.
if anything, I always just throw some sort of organ there and then put it through an amplifier model and just turn up the gain so that it gets that gritty, distorted sound. It is so good.
Definitely. I love the dirty organ sound. It's great. With that song, it's got a girth to it without resorting to too much distortion and, trying too much to really make it a heavy song, but it still has that weight to it. It's pretty cool.
Dirty organ.
Isn't that what they call it when you add distortion to an organ? Dirty organ?
Right. We were doing so well. Well, it is almost over, so it's just. Let's. I actually want to go to the next track. because we haven't had too much electronic stuff, and I want to get to this one because I kind of love this one. Oh, did I turn off the? Yeah, there we go. This one is called. What is this one called? Hold on a second. I'm getting used to this, but it's like, yeah. This one is called Firstborn, and it is a track by Tesla 3090. Enjoy that one. Firstborn, a Tesla 3090. How'd you enjoy that? I was seeing a lot of great comments in Slack.
Yeah, I love Colton's work. He's actually semi-local to me. I believe he's in Kansas City. I'm 120-ish miles away, so still haven't met him in person. But for quite a while now, been a pretty good fan of his work. And that's not a genre that I typically gravitate to, but it really did open the door for me in FAWM and in 5090 to kind of explore some tracks that I wouldn't normally listen to and really appreciate. And like this track, for instance, the way it built, that slow build up, is like the exact opposite of what you do in a pop song. So if you go on YouTube and how do you write a song, it's going to tell you the opposite of that. You got 4 bars for an intro, and then you better have a hook, and you better hit it. And this song did the opposite of that and worked so well. It's kind of a slow build till you get there, and the texture and the sounds are so good. And yeah, so you can learn a lot from listening to something artfully developed, and the subtlety and the nuance that it's hard to get a lot of nuance in a heavy metal song. Sometimes it's a hit you over the head type of deal, and there's a place for both. So it's really taught me a lot of patience, if nothing else, because you can see the beauty in the moment as opposed to trying to get all your aggression or anger or whatever it is out at once.
It's a very meditative track.
Yep.
Sure. What's your relationship to electronic music, Pearl?
I mute my mic. I that song in particular, I like that little bass he had going there in the bottom. Everything I know about electronic music, I do some electronic music, but everything I know, I'd like to say I learned in FAWM from listening to other FAWMers' electronic tracks and then saying, what did I like about that, and making it my own. And going back to something you said earlier, just music isn't a song. Oh yes, it is, because I write just instrumental pieces. I write just lyrics. I write all sorts of stuff, and I know Tesla 3090 has done an awful lot of good stuff, and that track right there was very, very nice. I liked it.
All right then. There you have it, folks.
Right then.
Just music. It is a song. Yeah, I agree. Like I especially agree. Like if you're making songs, pretty much anything you can think of. There are some limitations to songs. Like, is a picture a song? I don't. It's getting to a weird territory. I don't like it. It's very confusing to me. But it's especially when dealing with just like lyrics or just instrumental music, or just some sort of ambient tunes. I think we can call all of those songs. And you can just do those things if you want to, and get to the 14 with those.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems like we're.
I mean,
yeah.
I was just going to say, limiting what people can count as a song. So FAWM is a cell challenge, all right? Like, the moderators have made it very clear. So if you come into FAWM and you want to do lyric posts, that's acceptable. If you want to do instrumentals, that's acceptable. If you want to do industrial noise, found sounds, if you want to go outside and have nature sounds and try to that into without an instrument, that's acceptable. It's your challenge. Now, nobody has to listen. That's kind of part of it. It's like, you're the artist, you've got to figure it out. That's the balance you have when you're creating art, is that relationship with the listener. But you're free to do what you want. And so I absolutely refuse to accept that there's any limitations to your challenge. So now, that being said, I think it was Platt one year actually took a picture and put it in in his DAW in a sonoscope. I said it wrong, but where you can see the spectrum of what your song looks like, and actually played it and made music out of it. So literally, a picture was turned into music and into a song. So even that, which in some ways is more creative,
Definitely.
If you can do that, if you're going to have this experimental type of, if you can do that, more power to you. I mean, that's beyond I can barely imagine somebody trying to do that. And I sit there and watch. I mean, he explained it to me, and I still don't understand it, but he explained it to me, and it was great. It's amazing what people can come up to. And limitations are good. Limitations make you more creative. If you have this limitation, it forces you to overcome the limitation and be creative within these parameters. That's great. But there's a difference between limitations and limiting somebody being creative.
So I think...
And so do not limit creativity.
Yeah, I think the gist of it is that you should keep it challenging to yourself. So if you're challenged, then you're pretty much doing okay in FAWM.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's too easy, then you're not doing it right.
I could see that. Yeah.
Hey, it's one way to go about it. All right, I think
not the only way.
We're doing overtime, but we seem to enjoy it, so it's not all bad. But I think we're gonna do one more track to end the show. I don't know if we're gonna do any more pre-shows. TC was kind of like hinting at it, but we'll see. We'll see, I guess. Maybe, maybe not. I kind of gave away the last song there because I'm not used to these controls yet, but I will be. But the last one is gonna be a song called Floorshirt. No, Floorshirt. Yeah, I was like confused there for a second. But anyway, thank you for everyone for tuning in, checking out the first ever FAWMtalk 2019. First ever. That's a nice ring to it, even though it's complete crap.
And thank you so much for having me on here. This has been a blast and a whole lot of fun, and I look forward to watching everybody else get on here now and have as much fun as I did. You guys are a laugh a minute. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pearl. It was so nice to have you here.
Yep, thanks for coming on, and definitely consider this a successful first 2019 FAWMtalk episode. We made it through, and I don't think you want to kill me yet. So we're doing well.
So well, so great. This has been a blast. So here it is, awesome. The last song called "Floorshirt" by Vom Vorton. I'll see you guys around.
No shirt, no shoes, no room for you. What's an idiot with no style supposed to do? No way to fit in if I can't even get into a place I don't really want to be. It's true. The bouncers indicate the sign politely. Found a loophole on the floor there. Cleaned up nicely, cleaned up nicely. At first, being turned away hurts. Till I found my floor shirt. Found my floor shirt. Found my floor shirt. Found my floor shirt. Now those on the door salute me. Don't care if it even suits me. No iron and the buttons are undone. Turns out this place is shite, and dancing in the moonlight acts as a perfect